If you're new to my channel, I'm just a girl who likes reading romance, fantasy romance, paranormal romance, any kind of genre of romance in general. And I also happen to have cerebral palsy, and it would mean the world to me if you would subscribe to my channel. Happy Monday! Today's video is going to be my April mid-month wrap-up. I'm going to talk about all the books that I read in the first half of April. It would be April 1st to April 14th. Let's get started with the books. The first 4 books I'm going to talk about really quickly because it's the new releases that released this week, and I made a video about my thoughts and my feelings about the new releases that released in romance. I'll leave the link down below in the description in case you want to know my full thoughts, but I'm just going to tell you the ratings. First, we have Coach by Devney Perry. I give that book 5 stars. Then we have If This Is Love by Julianne. I also give that book 5 stars. The Summer We Fell by Elizabeth O'Rourke. I gave 3 stars. And If Only You by Chloe Leese, I gave 5 stars. As I said, I will link my video down below in the description in case you want to know my full thoughts and feelings on these books. So please check out my video. Next, I read A Crown of Gilded Bones. It's the 3rd book in the From Blood and Ash series. I give that book 3 stars. Then I read books 2 through 7 in the Criminal Intention series. If you don't know what the Criminal Intention series is, it's about policemen, Malcolm and Songjay. The Songjay just transferred from Los Angeles to the Maryland Police Department, and the police chief partnered him with Malcolm, and this series follows Malcolm and Songjay as they solve these murder mysteries, and it follows their relationship as it turns romantic, and I loved it. I love the series. The audiobooks are great, but even if you don't want to listen to the audiobooks, all the ebooks are like 200 pages, but I would highly suggest the audiobooks. And it's a slow burn romance. You don't really get the full romance until episode 6. But anyway, I read Criminal Intentions episode 2. I gave 4 stars. Episode 3, I gave 4 stars. Episode 4, I gave 4 stars. Episode 5, I gave 4 stars. Episode 6, I gave 5 stars. And episode 7, I gave 5 stars also. I read the series because of Robin from Paperbacks and Planners. She said it reminded her of a TV show, of those cop TV shows, and I really like this series, and the audiobooks are great. It has great LGBT rap. Every side character is part of the LGBTQ community. There is great representation in this series. So if you're looking for an MM series, I highly suggest checking this one out. Next, I read the Stay With Me series by Nicole Fiorina, and I read this series because Tori from Novel Life and Jess from Honest Fiction are hosting a Stay With Me read-along, and I really wanted to check this series out, to see if I liked it, and I'm glad I read the books. And if you don't know what the Stay With Me series is about, it's about this girl named Mia. She suffered a traumatic past, a trigger warning for sexual assault. So because of the said past, she is numb to everything. She doesn't know how to feel. She's not empathetic, and like her dad and her stepmom make her go to a boarding school, correctional school in England. And Mia goes to this school and she meets our hero, Ollie Masters. And Ollie is the exact opposite of Mia, because Ollie is very in touch with his feelings. He feels everything. He's very open-minded about his feelings. And Mia is not. And even though Mia tries to tell Ollie that she's a person that cannot feel anything, Ollie makes it his mission to get Mia to feel something. And it's their romance. It was very sweet. I loved it. Book 2 I cried, and book 3 I cried. Anyway, book 1 is called Stay With Me. I gave 5 stars. Book 2 is called Even When I'm Gone. I gave 4 stars. Book 3 I gave 4 stars. It's called Open Your Eyes. 2 fantasy romances. The first book I read is because of Jess from Honest Fiction. She posted this book on her Instagram, and it's called A Court of Blood and Bindings, and it's about, I can't say her name without the audiobook, but I'm just gonna call her M. And in this world of A Court of Blood and Bindings, humans and Fae do not get along. Like, the Fae Queen collects taxes from humans, and their worlds are very separate. One day, the queens death maker sees doing magic, and she sees this fae for the first time. And
I forgot to mention the magic system is very unique in this series. They use colors.
So she tries to warn her parents and the rest of this town about seeing the fae and how they have to leave because they've been spotted. And they don't take her warning seriously. And they just ignore her basically. And when she wakes up, the whole neighborhood or the whole town is on fire. And who does she see? The fae that she saw before. The fae who saw her use her powers. So I think his name is called the Death Bringer or something, but he kidnaps her because of her powers, and it turns out he wants to rebel against the Fae Queen, but they don't call her Queen, they call her the Fae Mother, and he wants to rebel against the Fae Mother.
The mother
and he won't
binds all the fae so they can't attack her, so they can't go against her. M is the only one not binded.
He doesn't want to be under the mother's thumb anymore. So they make a bargain that he has to protect her at all times, and meanwhile she will deal with the mother. And we also find out that she is not in the book that she is not exactly human. That's all I'm gonna say, because I don't want to spoil the book if you haven't read it. But this book is so good. It's one of my favorite fantasy romance this year. And the hero is mute. We find out, the correct word is speechless. The hero is speechless. We find out that the Deathbringer's his name is Creon. And
Creon teaches Creon to communicate with sign language.
The mother, basically, because the mother is evil. I really loved it. I gave it 5 stars. I read this book because of Just from Honest Fiction, and it was so good. The next book I read is Bounded by Thorns, and I read this book because I've seen it go around Booktube about how people really want to read this series, so I decided to go ahead and grab the audiobook. It's a reverse harem. It's a wide-choose romance retelling. It's a Beauty and the Beast retelling. And we follow Rosalinda, who works at a bookstore. And people think that her father is crazy because her father believes in the Fae and the Fae world, and that the Fae kidnapped her mother, and he's always going out of town to find her, basically. And people around town really make fun of her for that. And one day, the butcher finds her father's coat with blood in it. So she goes into this forest. She enters the land of the Fae, only to find out that her father is being held hostage because he stole from one of the Fae princes. So in order for her father to be released, she asked one of the Fae, Cal, she tells Cal, release my father and I'll be your prisoner because he got the rose for me. And there are four Fae princes, Cal, Ezra, or Pharaoh, and Dalton, and they all have this curse put upon them at night, where at night, instead of turning into Fae, they turn into monsters. And she says, I'll help you break this curse, and then after I break this curse, I'm free to leave. So they agree they'll release her if she can help them break this curse. But then she found out the only way to break this curse is to help the princes find their true mates, because not only are they in danger of dying, but their land is dying as well. And I really like this book. I listened to the audiobook. The audiobook was great. I give this book 4 stars. And it's a very unique Beauty and the Beast retelling. And I will mention there is sword crossing in this reverse harem, or in this Why Choose romance, and those are the Why Choose romances I prefer, where it's not the heroine always getting the attention. So I really like this book. Those are all the books that I read in the first half of April. Please let me know down in the comments below if you have read any of these books. I would love to know. I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. That would mean the world to me. And please like this video and comment. Bye. I'll see